Set our minds on divine things, O Lord. Amen. Every single one of us has had an experience where our expectations didn't meet reality. As kids, our view of the world often missed what was going on. I don't know how many of you join me in the years I spent thinking that a pony would magically arrive in my life. I finally gave up on that, but it happens. And adulthood hasn't always tempered that. Think of the dream job that turned out to be a nightmare, the lifelong friendship that fizzled, the problems with drinking or drug abuse that worsened instead of being healed by the power of our persuasive love. The list is endless. Peter had expectations. The Jewish view of a Messiah was of Superman in a way. Messiah would be the military leader who would rally the troops and drive out the hated oppressors. He would then become king and rule with justice and peace. When Jesus began to talk about great suffering leading to death because of his words and actions, the expectations of the disciples clashed with the ugly reality Jesus was presenting. Nothing he said fit with their dreams. What a crushing blow to their hearts. Suffering and dying are two of the biggest challenges we face. We are so good at denial. It can be impossible to envision that someone we love will cease to exist in this world. Yet all of us have had the awful experience of losing a beloved spouse, partner, parent, or child, a best friend. How do we face this possibility, this probability, in a healthy way? Peter chose the denial route, and he stayed there much longer than was good for him. Perhaps his example is included as a cautionary tale for us. Struggling with Jesus is frequently a challenge for us today, 2,000 years after the fact. It colors how we think and worship during Holy Week and can be a frequent companion in our daily lives. Even with the knowledge and promise of resurrection, facing loss is painful. It hurts to see a loved one in pain, in confusion about what the best treatment might be. It is simply awful when it's ourselves going through this. When do I fight? When do I give up? How do I say goodbye to family and dear ones, especially when they don't even want to acknowledge what's happening? Jesus had trouble with getting those he loved most to see that what he was heading into would be painful and yet necessary. He cautioned them that living just to live wasn't enough, that they and we needed to die in order to live. Living for the right thing is a kind of death for all of us. Giving up our beloved and comfortable lives for something greater or more necessary can hurt. Can I give up my job because my partner has an offer that would require our moving away from a happy life right here with good friends and good schools? Back when women's lib was just sort of a twinkle in a lot of eyes, my friend Jean was offered a job in another state. I asked my husband Max if he would leave his job for me, and his look was priceless. We laughed, but I think he was kind of in awe of Russell for doing what he did for his wife Jean. And this is tiny, folks, tiny. What about going to a war zone to do work that you believe God is calling you to? We see people like this on the news every night. Moving in order to take care of a handicapped relative who isn't all that thankful for your sacrifice, no matter how necessary. We can all fill in the blanks. Losing our lives might well lead to finding them, but it's a risk. Are we willing to look that risk in the face, or join Peter in our denial of what must be done? Sacrificial living is the life that God calls each and every one of us to. Sometimes the joy of it is right there to see, and saying yes is relatively easy. Think of Peter, though, when your choices are hard ones. Think of him with compassion leading up to the ugly death of Jesus. And think of him afterward and the path he faced as an example for us all. Amen.